Katie Malone. She's awesome.
She told us to say that.
Now here's Katie Malone on her talk, Sex, Gender, and Orientation.
Good morning. Today I want to talk to you guys about sex, gender, and orientation. Now for the longest time, we have viewed this as either A or B. You're either straight or you're gay, you're a boy or you're a girl, you're blue or you're pink. But I want to discuss why this should be viewed as a spectrum in order to smash judgment and end stereotypes. So biological sex all starts in the womb. When an egg is fertilized by sperm, biological sex is created. We have XX making female, XY making male, but it's not always that smooth. We also have intersex. Intersex individuals are born with ambiguous sex organs that are neither entirely male nor entirely female. So normally at birth, their parents will gender them. They will say, for the rest of your life, you're either a boy or a girl. But again, it's not that simple, because gender is not binary. Gender is also a spectrum. Gender has everything in between boy and girl, and even things that aren't even close to boy and girl. So let's start with the basics. Cisgender. Cisgender is what we're most familiar with. Cisgender is this idea that you're born with male sex organs and the rest of your life you identify as being a boy. Next we have bigender. Bigender individuals may feel that they comply with both genders. They are both male and female. Maybe more male some days and more female other days, but they are somewhere on that spectrum of being both. Next we have transgender individuals. These are very prominent in the media right now due to beautiful women like Laverne Cox. These individuals might be born male, they might have male sex organs, and grow up being told, you are a boy. But inside they don't feel that way. They don't feel like a boy. Inside they're dying to be a girl. They want to be called she, they want to be called her, they want to be treated like a girl. So individuals may undergo sex change operation or change their name or how they dress on the outside in order to reflect how they really feel on the inside. Next, we have gender fluid. Gender fluid individuals have an ever-changing gender. One day they might be like, I'm super masculine today, the next day be like, I don't feel like a boy today. It's constantly changing and flowing. It's important to recognize that each gender that they feel is valid. Next, we have androgen. These individuals, I picture them right in the middle of the spectrum. If you have boy over here and girl over here, they're kind of in the middle, 50-50. They have both the stereotypical male and stereotypical female qualities. And finally, I have agender. These individuals feel genderless. They don't conform to the gender norms that we set for them. They don't conform to any gender identity. They just are who they are. They're people. So I'm moving on to gender identity. This is how we express gender on the outside, whether the way you dress, the way you do your hair, or even your pronouns. This is how we say, hey world, I'm a girl. I'm a girl because I like being called she, I wear my hair like this, I wear dresses. This is how society dictates whether we are a boy or a girl or something in between. So this leads into gender non-conforming. These non-conforming individuals feel that they don't live up to these socio-cultural standards for gender. They don't match this feminine, they don't match the masculine ideologies. So this moves on to a whole different ballgame, orientation. Now there's two kinds of orientation. We have sexual and we have romantic. Romantic is what you think of who you love, who you want to hold hands with, who you want to marry. And sexual is more, you either got it or you don't, basically, those lustful feelings to reproduce. So starting with sexual orientation, or romantic orientation, my bad, we have hetero. Hetero-romantics are attracted to the opposite gender. Homo-romantics attracted to the same gender. Bi-romantics attracted to both genders. But here's where it gets tricky. Pan-romantics. These individuals are attracted to people. They're not attracted to your sex organs. They're attracted to you because you're you, not because you're a boy or because you're a girl. And next, we have aromantic. These individuals don't feel that love. They don't feel that they need a romantic relationship to be satisfied. They're fine with friendships and platonic relationships, and that's okay with them. So as you can see, this is not just A or B, this is a spectrum. You can fall in between any of these categories. And these don't determine your sexuality either. Your sexual orientation, let's start with asexual. These individuals don't feel sexual attraction. They just don't feel it. It's not there. They don't have this lust. this desire to reproduce with other beings, and that's okay. But it's not just asexual. We also have asexual-ish. These individuals may feel sexual sometimes or identify as only kind of sexual, not all the way there, but not completely asexual either. So next we have demisexual. These individuals need to have some sort of strong emotional connection with the people around them in order to have a sexual feeling. Whether it's date them for a year, they need to fall in love in order to want someone sexually. And finally, the most common, we all learn in health class, sexual. These lustful feelings, these urges to reproduce and explore people's bodies and just go for it, go all in. So as you can see again, these don't line up. Just because you're heteroromantic doesn't mean you're sexual, doesn't mean you're asexual. It depends, it's a person-to-person thing. And of course, there's things in between all this that I cannot cover because it's infinite, it's personalized and it's individual. So I want to discuss next why there's so much hate. Why do people say homosexuals are possessed by demons? Why is the average lifespan of a transgender individual 30 years old? Whether they die because of hate crimes or bullying, they're hurting inside because of this hate. I say this hate is because of our two boxes. We say you're either A or you're B. You're right or you're wrong. You're normal or you're different. And if you're different, we cannot handle that. We need to become more accepting and recognize all of these different people on the spectrum, and that it's not just A and B, and it's not just about right and wrong. And this leads into the idea of boy versus girl. You see, rape is a more prevalent thing now than it has ever been. People are speaking out and becoming more aware about these problems. And one of the major issues with this is how we raise our children. From a very young age, girls are taught to be dainty and not stand up for themselves, while males are taught to be assertive and dominant. Men learn that they have control and have power over women, and when they don't get what they want, they're willing to use force to take it from women. So I Googled CEO and I Googled secretary. When I Googled CEO, I found pictures of strong, dominant males looking really powerful and like they own the place. When I Googled secretary, I came across pictures of pornographic images of women dressed to please men. There's a problem with this because we're viewing women as though they are sex objects just when they're performing their everyday job. So what can you do? How can we change this in our school today? Let's start with staying away from gender stereotypes. In gym class, don't call them girl push-ups because they're weaker than regular ones. Don't say you're acting like a girl. We can stand up for people that are being gendered. When someone is put in these boxes, you can say, hey, that's not right. You can tell people what they're saying is problematic and why, and it'll help them stop. And finally, what we can do is encourage people's passions. When a girl wants to play football, let her. Say, good job. When a little boy likes dolls, that's okay too. Let him play with them. We have to encourage this gender exploration from a young age in order to break these boundaries. So I'd like to end with a quote to inspire you for the rest of your day. It's by Martin Luther King Jr., a civil rights activist, and he said, hate cannot end hate. Only love can do that. Thank you.